Good Thursday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles and SUVs and who's out here, who's trying to come out here. Didn't I close the door? Yeah, okay. Well, the wife, I think, is right behind me, and she just wanted me in video. But hey, welcome to the morning. Appreciate those who follow me and watch me and comment for me. And wow, just a beautiful morning here. I mean, wow, just incredible. It has truly become cooler, less humidity. I mean, it's borderline chilly. I've got my Crocs on, my shorts on, Indian hat, my Harley. And do I have less vehicles? If you watch my channel, do I have less vehicles in my driveway, or do I have more vehicles in my driveway? You know what's incredible? And I have more vehicles somewhere else that I need to bring home. Wow, look at the wind. We have a heck of a wind here. I mean, wow. I mean, whoo, brr, it's cool, chilly. Good Lord, I mean, just beautiful outdoor weather. But yeah, do I have less things? Do I have more things? Look at the Hellcat Charger. How about this, huh? The car I rarely ever drive, and wow, I need to drive that car. But boy, oh boy, that car's got a lot more power than anything else sitting around here. And yeah, does that create problems sometimes? So yeah, so it's the ongoing conversations in the morning, and I thought, what do we talk about today? I don't know. There's just so many things to talk about, but I thought, why don't we talk about the less versus the more conversations. And if you look around in my life, does anybody probably say, yeah, you need a lot less? Yeah, do you think the wife and I haven't had that conversation? Where the wife's like, you just have too much stuff. And I don't disagree. I've got a lot of stuff. And do I actually need more stuff? I don't. And that's what's just so interesting about who I am and how I operate in my world. It is, I haven't per se have anything just really I've been wanting to buy besides that Slingshot R. I'm not even on a excitement page of buying another car or truck per se. So there really isn't anything that I want more at this time. I just really have so much as it is, too much, that I'm very content with what I have. I mean, there's just nothing on my radar screen. I mean, there is, but to justify it's like, I don't know, the Ram TRX. Yeah. Are there more of those? Or are there less of those? Yeah, that's a whole other story. So, here the Indian Sport Chief. You know, it's just so confusing. Last night, I did a nice how-to video on how to put on some really nice soft bags to give you more storage to be able to ride your Sport Chief. And I think it looks really good. I think it didn't take away the nice look to the motorcycle, and it just gives you more capability to store things and bring things with you when you're riding your motorcycle. And for me, the naked bikes like this here, this is just a putt around the town, putt around the backyards, and call it a day. You just really can't do much with that unless I guess you go to aftermarket and find the bags and all. But that's always been my thing. And if you look at my new Indian Pursuit, boy, have I gotten a lot more motorcycle, or have I gotten less motorcycle because of the Indian compared to the Harley Davidson product? That's the conversation it seems to be when you're kind of thinking about these bagger bikes. But here, I finally get all my covers out. It's pretty cool. I used to own 2 Honda Goldwings. So here's my Goldwing cover I bought back in 2018. Here's my other Honda Goldwing cover I bought in 2018. And then here's my CVO factory nice cover. Then here's these really nice heavy duty covers that I bought for my adventure bikes. I used to have a like an Africa Twin and a Tiger 1200, and I bought these. These are really great covers, and they're not real expensive. Which is crazy is, yeah, you get more for your money, more for less money. Absolutely. When you go to like the Indian and want to buy a nice Indian cover, you're going to pay a lot more for that cover. So The odds are I'll just buy another one of these, unless there's a giveaway deal on the cover somewhere. And here's some news on the Indian Pursuit. I am going to get more of an exhaust note out of this motorcycle, maybe by the end of the day, because I found the Indian factory upgraded exhaust muffler, not the head pipe, just the slip-on muffler. And boy, oh boy, about less versus more. Yeah, Indian is totally getting out of the upgrade slip-on mufflers. They're totally no longer going to offer that. So for me, I totally lucked out, and I found a set of mufflers. You can't order them. So only way you can get these mufflers for these, the Pursuit, the Challenger, the Chieftain, the Roadmaster, is you have to find a dealer that has them in their inventory that they bought probably a year ago or so. So coffee time. And yeah, the less versus more. And that's always the conversation when we're comparing motorcycles from one brand to another. And it's just so incredible how I've had so many people reach out on the Harley-Davidson Road Glide CVO, and they think that I got less of the deal. They think I made a mistake on me buying that CVO and letting go of my two other Harleys. And I just think, I don't feel that way. Because for me, I'm very happy. You can't see the bike because there's just so much dust and dirt that comes through my shop here. I finally had to cross the bridge and start covering things up. But let's get upstairs in the office as we look at the Indian Pursuit here. That I'll do some show a video later today. And then I'm getting a new windscreen for it. So I really lucked out yesterday finding an Indian dealer that does have the leftover. They have some more sets if anybody's interested in getting. And here's the great news. I got a lot more for less. I basically paid half. It's like $1,000 for these slip-on mufflers. Just have an Indian name on it and a little deeper throatier exhaust. Well, I got them for like $550. So they're giving them away, which is just wow. So anybody's interested in finding those last generation of mufflers, I can help you out if you want to reach out my channel and ask me where to go. I can advise you where to go. So, and I'm borderline tempted to buy them for my Challenger. The Indian Challenger Elite that's down in Tennessee, because I don't like the tab exhaust. Now today, my dog, talking about more or less, my dog, my German Shepherd, is just tearing apart my office. Eating my rug, eating my chair. Yeah, the puppy dog is out of control. So don't turn on the air conditioning today because it's so, I mean, it really is cool out. You can probably hear that wind behind me. When I was down there talking about the bikes, I mean, woo, it's chilly. Hard to believe the change of season is right upon us, which will be, means less daylight, less humidity, more cold, more darkness. Yeah, it's the less versus more. That's what I came up literally just here at the last second to talk about on my channel. And I thought, you know what, that's kind of got some pretty good content of where we are in today's society and so many things of less versus more, being the green agenda wants us ice heads to have less of the ice and more of the EV. The green agenda wants us to have less of what you like to enjoy in life and more of what they want you to do in life. So keeping it on the motorcycle theme, even the truck theme. Well, here's the thing. The Ram TRX is officially dead. Anybody who owns a Ram TRX, your truck just probably had a 20% increase in value. Yeah, I would say 20% at least. Because we've all been wondering, when is Ram going to finally pull the plug on the Hellcat? I really believed that it would probably end by the end of this year. So sure enough, it's a little confusing though, because what they're saying is the 2024 Ram is the end of the Hellcat motor package for the TRX Ram truck. And so they're gonna release 2024, but what they're saying at the end of 2023, production's over. So I guess you can order right now a brand new 2024 Ram TRX and get one But once the end of the year comes, they're no longer going to make that engine. It's all, I figured that's what would happen because they're going to do away with the Hellcat Challenger and Charger, the whole infrastructure of those two cars. So it's just a no-brainer. Why would they continue just to build a motor just for a truck? Even though they could expand into many more things. I still can't believe that Ram didn't put that Hellcat motor in a two-door lowered Ram truck. I mean, I guess, do they even make a Ram two-door truck anymore? I'm not even sure. But here's Ford with the FP700, their own little in-house supercharged performance truck that's supposed to look like my race truck I have down there in Tennessee right now. Doesn't look as good as my truck. Expensive. It's just a supercharger and some fancy wheels and a little bit suspension. But anyways, back, keeping on the motorcycle thing, because that's been the main focal point, is the motorcycles here and the less versus more. And the reason I'm bringing this up more so is because I've had many, many comments on my channel about how so many people think when I traded my two Harleys, my 2019 Harley CVO Limited, and I traded in my Fast Johnny 2023, so many people think that was a loss. That was a big mistake. And, on the surface, I'm sure many people would say, yeah, that's true. But they don't understand I bought the CVO Limited used, so I didn't really take that big a hit. Fast Johnny, yeah, I took a hit on that. But here's the thing. I really kind of came to closure, as I've mentioned, that the CVO new redesigned model, the next generation of the touring Harleys is going to follow that same type of technology. So for 2024, I'll be amazed if that. Usually now Harleys change their release dates of their new bikes. I'm going to say it's going to be January or February, but I'll just be amazed that if the 2024 motorcycle, what I'm saying to you is I pretty much can guarantee you that the 2024 Harleys are going to be riding off that CVO Road Glide platform with the new infotainment center, the new suspension, the new tank, the new bags. The whole theme of the bike is going to be, it's just not going to have the 121 motor, and it may not have the inverted forks, but I don't know. I mean, that's debatable. So the bike's going to be updated. So if anybody has an existing Harley, your value just went down. And that's just kind of where I kind of came to closure. It's like, you know what, if I don't get rid of this now, and then I go for the CVO Road Glide next year, and then the whole lineup of the Harley's been revamped and redone in the touring side, it's just going to even make it more challenging for the value of the motorcycles that I've owned and paid on. And you factor in how many payments you make and everything else, I mean, the numbers just are going to get even worse. So I think that in that realm of things, I think that I did okay. Yeah, the other thing is that bike really is different. It really is a nice motorcycle. And even the point, very challenging to say, okay, is the Challenger Elite really that much, badder ass than the CVO Road Glide? CVO Road Glide, with that naturally aspirated V-twin motor with now the liquid cooled heads, but the traditional V-twin engine, that motor is just so, nice. You just feel that thing underneath between your legs. And the way that bike handles, it truly is a very sporty motorcycle. It is a very confident blast in the corners and come out of the corners of that motorcycle. It's a very confident, open highway, just rock and roll motorcycle. So Harley's done a great job on the handling aspect of that bike. It still has that, kind of that heavyweight feel to it, but it's by far lesser of a heavy feeling bike compared to the previous generation. And so just that noise, the rumble, the Harley, the look, I think the bike looks really good. So I just think, wow, that bike is a win. I got more out of that two bikes for one bike. I'm more excited to jump on the CVO Road Glide than I would be to jump on that Fast Johnny. My CVO Limited Really nice bike, a heavy bike, a lot of bike, but a really nice bike. I mean, there's no doubt that was a really nice motorcycle. And it had a lot of stuff upgraded on it, which is nice, but at the same time, just a very heavy motorcycle. And so I think to myself, the Indian Pursuit, in some aspects, it's so refined that in some ways it's too refined, that it can be kind of mundane because it's just such a nice motorcycle that when you go down the road, it isn't the same as riding that Harley where you have a little bit more of that noise between your legs and that deeper kind of throatier, just that torquey engine feel. I don't know about you, but I have many mornings I've been in my house and I can hear that big ass Harley bike just rumble by my property. And that's what that Harley does. Now there's the Indian, the Indian Challenger has that liquid cooled motor that's more of like the Honda engine, Kawasaki engine, Suzuki engine. Look at Suzuki. They've got a 2024 Hayabusa. How many years has the Suzuki Hayabusa been around? Wow, I just saw that in an article in the Motorcycle Magazine on the internet thinking, wow. But anyways, whole point is that Harley gives a deeper, just that deeper engine rumble that you don't get as much out of as that Indian, the Polaris motor is what I basically call it. So it's just, so the Pursuit, it's an incredibly confident, really nice motorcycle, but in some aspects it takes away that little bit more challenge of what the Indian gives you, I should say the Harley gives you, and just that rumble between your legs and that just traditional Harley feel. And I really do like the way the handlebars sit up on that CVO Road Glide. The seat isn't as comfortable, but you can always change out the seat. So, but, and, once again, the wind in your face versus no wind because the Indian Pursuit has electronic windshield. But at the end of the day, it's not radically like a huge difference. I mean, it's a nice option, but it's not the difference of the fun factor on that Road Glide. The Road Glide CVO is in many ways more fun than the Indian at this time. And once again, I got to get that damn Challenger out and ride that Challenger. But I know that bike. It's such a refined motorcycle, and it is a very quick motorcycle. I do not like the exhaust I put on it. So it's just two different, they're so different. And then, yeah, you kind of come down to the end, which one, if you had to only have one, which would you have? And boy, I tell you what, it's a hard decision just because that new Road Glide CVO is such a nice motorcycle. I mean, so it's a challenge. And, part of me would be like, I'd probably keep the Harley. And the reason I say that is because of the Harley-Davidson infrastructure, the Harley-Davidson dealerships, just overall Harley-Davidson, in the fit and finish on the Harley-Davidson is really superior in so many ways than the Indian product is on the touring bikes. So I think I've gotten myself more in trouble because here I've got now even more of a dilemma because I was really on the page of just selling my Indians off. I really was. This past Saturday, I really just kind of come to closure. That's just time to sell all the Indians and just kind of go to the Harley side. But then at the last minute, I saw an opportunity to have a Pursuit because I don't have a touring bike anymore. And just the way I operate, my position is, you know what? I can buy that Pursuit and I got good money put into it for the trade. So I'm not buried in it. I can enjoy that bike. And when the CVO, I don't like this year's CVO Road Glide Limited. I don't like that package. I don't like the looks of it. And so I'd rather have other options. And even just the regular new touring bike may be updated, may be a very nice package. You may have the 117 motor in it. So, I may not even need the new limited touring bike with the tour pack. So here's the whole point. I could keep the Pursuit for the next year, ride it, have fun, and I may come to closure. You know what? I think I'm just going to stay with Harley because I really like that new Harley revamped, redesigned, product. I don't know, but it just keeps the cards in the deck, and that's what I have. That's always been my saying. I have the cards in the deck to give me options. That's the danger. I have so many different vehicles that always have an opportunity to take and change out from one vehicle to another. That's why less versus more. If I had less vehicles, I'd have less options. When I have more vehicles, I have more options. So, yeah, the less versus more. So back here to the Ram TRX, there'll be less of those, but the people that have them, you're going to have more value for that vehicle. Volkswagen just announced, it's so crazy that you can go 40 years ago when I owned the new Volkswagen GTI that came to America, silver one. I was one of the first ones in this area to get one from Stoneman Volkswagen in Tysons Corner, Virginia. And so Volkswagen is bringing to an end the manual transmission for the Volkswagen GTI. And I just think, boy, you just read one thing after another of what we're starting to see less of than more of. And as we know, when you go to the car side of things, we're going to have less ICE vehicles in the future, and we're going to have more EV vehicles. And even to the point, I was reading an in-depth article about how Ford is going to put a brand new factory in Stanton, Tennessee, a 400 population town. And this factory will employ 6,000 people. And this town is now having to prepare itself for this huge influx of more people. It's been a town of less people, and now they're going to have, you just think to yourself, well, if 6,000 people, if you add a spouse, that's 12,000 people. If you add the kids, that can turn into 18,000 people. Friends, family, relatives. If others follow along or whatever, that 6,000 employees could turn into a 20,000 explosion of population in this little town of Stanton, Tennessee. And so many people are concerned they're going to lose the real life of that town from the new factory. Ford's building a car manufacturing facility, EV, and a battery factory in that town. And they're doing the same thing in Memphis. So the article is really kind of talking about how, with the Inflation Reduction Act, on how so many companies are expanding their businesses or starting businesses in the southern states of like Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, like North Carolina, that they're going to move in. These big businesses are moving into these little towns, and these towns are going to have more responsibility. They're going to have to have more schools, more road infrastructure, more houses, more police, more governing bodies. So it's just more and more and more that this EV agenda is creating more jobs. But at the same time, you just think, wow, it's creating more jobs, but here's the challenge. The towns in the Tennessee area, their concern is they don't have enough qualified people to work at these factories. So there's a concern they're going to have less people in the demographic areas, surrounding areas of these factories that won't qualify to be able to work in the factories. So they're going to have a borderline, maybe a challenge of employment and labor. But I think to myself, yeah, but here's the union, here's the UAW pounding its fist about the guaranteed transition of electric vehicles. And yeah, where are all those union people? They're up in Michigan. They're up in Detroit. And it talks about that the stronghold of Ford is up north and the stronghold of UAW is up north. And so what are those guys going to do? They're going to start moving south and try to unionize these new factories, and which brings in more cost. And so that's the thing. You think to yourself, yeah, what are these manufacturers doing? They want less cost. They're going to these southern states because they're getting tax breaks and they're getting incentives from these Kentucky and Tennessee and Georgia and other states are luring them into their states to create jobs and opportunities. And so, but I think at the same time, so these union people, their challenge is they're going to have less jobs. But you just think, yeah, but why wouldn't they just put those people in Tennessee? Well, here's a challenge. It's a non-union initiative. It's going to be a non-union workforce. So if you're a union worker, how does that work? I mean, just kind of think it through. So for the union person, they're going to take less pay, less benefits. They're going to have less time being a union member, and they're not going to have, I guess, as good a compensation package. So there's a lot of variables there. So but here's the EV agenda, the green agenda. It's all about creating less, does it seem? But it's creating more. And that's what so many people are talking about, the infrastructure of the mining and the steel. And I've talked about U.S. Steel being for sale, and I've talked about the mining operations. And it's going to create so much more of material stateside than this country probably has, I would guess, ever, to make this work for all the infrastructure they're setting up with the semiconductor manufacturing, EV battery manufacturing, EV car manufacturing, solar and green agenda, manufacturing. Where are all the raw materials going to come from to put all this stuff together? And if you see that the one factory that Ford is building in Stanton, it's like 3,500 acres of land that they've bought. And remember now, this Inflation Reduction Act is giving Ford and other companies monies, they're subsidizing them to begin this huge EV transition. And you just think to yourself, it's just crazy. It's so much infrastructure money being spent right now, but this country still just isn't on the page that they want more EV vehicles. I think most people want less EV vehicles. I mean, there's a fine line there. There's a lot of people out there that want to see the transition. A lot of people out there don't. I would think the majority, per se, just don't want to see it the way it's being managed and handled. And once again, if we didn't have a sitting to be administration in power, this wouldn't be happening as quickly as this supposedly is happening. And anymore, you don't know what more to believe. What do you believe? I mean, anymore you read the news, it's so confusing. I mean, here's a story for the gentleman that works at Motorcycles of Dulles, Connor, parts guy. He used to work up at JT Motorsports in Frederick, Maryland, which that's just basically 25 minutes from my residence here. And then the Motorcycles of Dulles is about 25, 30 minutes from my residence here north-south. Well, he was laid off from his job just a month ago because JT Motorsports, they've seen an incredible slowdown in their business. Now, it's debatable because there's a company called Moto Member here in Purcell, Virginia, that is getting more aggressive to sell motorcycles, and they're giving them away. So is that what's going on? Or is it the consumers have less money to pay for things that are more expensive? And they're now getting ready to release the economic data today, and they're already speculating that the consumers have spent more money than they initially anticipated. But it's the college time of year. People are going back to college. There's a lot of variables there of what's kind of going on. But anyways, the whole point is you hear these different YouTubers out there that claim that everybody's run out of money and there's less this, less that. But yet on the other side of the equation, wherever I go and I see things, I see more things happening and not less things happening. It's just like, wow, what do you believe, right? What's there to believe anymore? And then does the media intentionally hide things so you don't see? So you get less information? Yeah. Who doesn't believe that anymore? That you get less information. Here's Elon Musk. Now wants more information. Elon Musk just yesterday released to everybody in X a disclosure of how they're now collecting your data and privacy. And so, yeah, so Elon Musk, he's now doing in so many ways what Zuckerberg, aka Facebook, did to so many people, but they didn't even know it, that they're being watched and monitored and everything they do on Facebook, and their information is being sold for the companies to figure out what they should advertise on Facebook. Well, in so many aspects, in so many ways, Elon Musk has just opened that door up with X. So you're an X, they're going to be kind of watching all your things that you do and want and like. And what does that create? Well, it creates a huge database for Elon to sell to the advertisers, more opportunity for him to make more money by sharing with them what information he has and how to target their marketing, which that's huge. Trying to figure out what to go market and sell. So, yeah, and then you as an individual have less privacy more than ever. But I mean, it's just, anymore between your phone, your car. Hey, what are you doing, baby? Huh? That's okay. What less do you have to offer, right? That's the thing. And so here's the thing: as we progress with the transition to the EV age, what are we going to witness? We're going to witness less options of our ICE fun. Just like I told you about downstairs, looking at my motorcycles, Indian is officially no longer offering upgrade exhaust through their company. You're going to have to go outside to a different manufacturer. It could be Reinhardt, it could be Tabs, it could be RC, RCX, whatever. There's lots of different muffler manufacturers out there that offer different products for the motorcycles. But the whole point is you're going to have less options. And yeah, you're going to be able to do a stage 1 air cleaner. I don't even know. I haven't even looked at that on my bike. Are they going to take that away? Wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. In all reality, I need to look that up. So the whole point is you're going to have less options as we progress, and as we witness this, the green agenda, because the green agenda wants us to eat less, wants us to travel less, wants us to lose our ice age, which wants us to have less ice around us. What else does the green agenda want us to have less of, right? So, and in so many ways, the green agenda is so expensive that in so many ways you believe truly that the goal is for you to just have less of everything because of the transition of how expensive everything's getting. I'm sure there's a lot of people that eat out less. I'm sure there's a lot of people that drive less. You can probably go through the list, which just fits the whole narrative to the green agenda junkies that are trying to save Mother Earth because so many feel like Mother Earth needs more loving. All right, everybody, hey, that's it. I'm going to let it go at that. So once again, just like to share my views and ideas and thoughts. And it's always about the one versus the other. And it's interesting how I don't have the GT500s anymore to really compare those to the Dodge Hellcats. And so in all reality, I have less performance vehicles than I did a year ago. I had more of those last year. But yet this year I have less. I have more trucks. And I do have more motorcycles. Yikes. When I was really wanting to have less. Yeah, how do I fix that? Will that ever come? Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's my choice and not the bank's choice, if you get that message. Everybody, thanks for watching my channel. Appreciate the support. Share the channel. Hope this gives you something to listen to and take your mind off of other things in life. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's you're riled up. I don't know. That isn't the goal. So, God bless. Stay safe. And I got to go to work just like you. So have a great day. Stay safe.